Hello, dreamers. Twin Daydreams here. Okay, so I've showed y'all all my favorite webtoons, and I'm going to show y'all some of my favorite Wattpad stories. So we'll probably do a part 2. I was going to do all of them, but Wattpad isn't letting some of them load into my little favorites list. So here's all the ones that I have right now. We'll probably do a part 2 to this some point. So this is the Blood Alpha. Completed. I like this because they choose their mates, and then they go and live with them, and it's pretty cool. I'll read the description. Every year, each male wolf can choose a mate, and the she-wolf they choose has no say. So when the innocent, seemingly young Jenny Brown turns 18, she instantly catches the eye of the most infamous Alpha of all. Alpha Leighton, not trying last name. Or has he's better known the Blood Alpha. The Blood Alpha is cool, merciless, and unforgiving, but can generally soften them up with their kind heart. Blah 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 blah. And yeah, this is pretty good. Because she was pretty shy. But she gets them to open up. And the twist about her mom was cool. And then this one, Hunting for Silence. All these silence breaking, Storm and Silence, New Storm Rising, they're all part of Storm and Silence series, which is really good. It's your choice, he said, blah blah blah. We're gonna read the bottom paragraph. In a world where women's only role in life is to sit at home and look pretty, Lily is determined to fight for freedom. There's only one problem, a powerful man blocking away. So this takes place like around when America was first being colonized. And it's really hilarious. This girl, she pretends to be a man, ends up getting a job, and then falls in love with her boss, who is super rich and has a very interesting backstory. Alright, this is my favorite vampire story on Wattpad, and that's Vampire's Pet. And yeah, Vampire's Pet, let's see. Love and Lost is a sequel to The Vampire's Pet, and then Prey is a spin-off based off the two main side characters. And it's basically Vampire's Pet story from their side, which is really cool. Basically, this girl is a pet. She gets bought by this powerful vampire, and the vampire falls in love with her, and she falls in love with him. And that's the story. Alright, let's see. Which one do I want to go over next? Sweet Addiction. So, this one's really good. This bagel starts dating this like hot accountant, and they fall in love and get married. And there's a sequel book, but there's only a few chapters of that on Wattpad. You have to buy the sequel book, and I did. It's also really good. There's also a spin-off book. I haven't read that though. Hide and Seek. This is a very interesting werewolf-ish werewolf, but without the ability to turn into a wolf one. This girl, she manages to outsmart the mate ball and make it to where it can't be noticed. But eventually they figure out who she is. And she has to, come to accept like her mate in her life and how she wishes to live. That's nice. The Bloodlust Alpha is another one of my favorite werewolves. And it's really interesting. It hasn't been updated in a while, but it's still pretty good. This girl, the little sister falls in love with her mate. The mate rejects her. Her dad sends her to a different pack. That pack gets attacked. Almost everyone dies, including this little girl that was basically her adopted daughter. She gets picked up by another pack, trains, becomes their alpha. And then there's also some confusing mate stuff slightly. But let's just say it's a pretty good book. This is one of my favorites. It's not very long. It doesn't like have a long stare to walk. It could have been written better, blah blah blah. I like it because it's quirky and funny. This was one of the first books I ever read. And it's pretty good. It's a page story now. It wasn't back when I originally read it. Basically, the school, in order to become a cheerleader, she was like, we're not gonna let you in if you're still friends with this absolute nerd. So she stops being friends with him, and he moves away, and he comes back. And, like, she's regretted it all this time. And so, like, they kind of become a thing. This is one I read recently. Oh, Michael, it's very good. The school's mom gets killed in a tornado, and she has to go live with her dad and his family, who are all politicians. And she finds out that her mom was dead before the tornado, and she figures out who killed her mom, and she also makes sure that he gets put in jail. And it's very cool. Also, the thing with the Littles and her sister is really, really sweet. Alright, that's all these. That's all the stories. And my favorite right now, I was gonna do more, but wattpad stopped letting me load things into the fave reading list. And I'll probably link this list in the description. Actually, let me just go ahead and copy the link. But yeah. Real quick, before I send you guys off, we're gonna do a quick self-promo. This is my wattpad account. And these are my stories. So yeah, if you want to check that out, the link is always in the description. Alright, bye! Sweet dreams!